soon as you have not only one object of the same color, but there you see it, but another, if it gets tracked,
It's not tracked.
I don't know. Does it get tracked anywhere?
It's getting there sometimes.
Yeah, just take some
Give
time.
it time.
Okay, I give it time.
It's a slow algorithm.
Yeah, especially
the
today.
tracking is
Well, anyways, if two get tracked of the same color, then you construct a 3D line. So you will construct like you will construct a line like between these two, and you will make, but you don't see a path, and the object will multiply, and you can change the distance between these objects. So you can say how many. If you want to like build like a whole row of buildings with one, you just construct 3D lines, for instance. Or if you want to place any other object you want to multiply.
Do you have any elements that simulate like nature? Say like putting trees.
Yeah.
And maybe like the processes of trees. Say maybe there's more oxygen. Maybe you put more trees here and there's more oxygen. Or is that kind of simulation
we have
possible?
it's not rule based and it's no simulation. So the first answer to this is what we would, this application just do is say, we can also put another, if this is tracked, we would just say, okay, we place a tree, but the tree is in no real relation to anything else in the scene. It's completely free constructed, no rules.
But okay.
Yeah.
You can make rules though, right?
You can do anything. We have actually had a parallel application where we tried to implement rules but for our purpose, what we wanted to motivate, rules made no sense.
Okay.
So that's why we have no rules at present. But it's possible in principle.
Okay. No rules are good.
Okay, now, since something is recognized, this is behind a tree, so you don't see it. Okay? So this is the... Yeah, you see it here? Okay, I put it here. You see, I draw in the trees, because these are CAD maps and you don't actually see what's in the landscape. And we cut out some trees and so forth to create space. Here it is.
Have you cut out the trees manually, or do you 3D track the
We-
scenery to extract it?
We do all manually. It's a lot of intensive content work. So, yeah, there you see it. Now, there's something you can also do. We've got several things where you can change attributes of am I in your way?
No,
Okay.
just fascinating little wheel you have.
Yeah, you can turn it.
It's a mouse under it, so it's like so
Yeah,
simple.
there's a mouse under it, and you can turn it 360 degrees.
Very clever.
Yeah. That's the one thing, is that you can turn it, or if you want to, you can switch here a barcode, since it's already fascinating you, and go to zooming. Okay, and then you can, by turning it, zoom in and out.
Oh, okay.
It's going slowly, of course, now. It's not like... Okay? Yeah, so that's good. And there's... I'll go back to rotating. Good. We've got now several attributes to change content. You can change the scale, you can change the transparency, you can change the offset from the ground of a content, you can change the color, like a layer of color is placed onto the content. And you can change the spacing, of course, in case of a 3D line, the spacing between the objects. And this I can just demonstrate. No, I'm sorry, I was too quick.
yes. We would have to restart the whole thing. It's very slow now, and
We can
many
restart.
things don't work. But it takes a while. It probably takes too long.
Why? If we then want to work with it, we should restart it.
We have at some point to restart it.
Okay, so I'll just finish. Okay, it would be nice if I can just show it. Wait a moment, let's see if it works. So, let's say you want to increase or decrease the scale of this object.
It's increase.
Increase. So you put it on,
Please.
and you leave it, and you see it's now behind the tree a bit, so you cannot. The meters
So
are
you have
on
a
here.
spaceship, yes.
And as soon as, oops, you think it's too big, you take off the card. If you think it's much too big, you can make it smaller again. So you just wait until it's perfect, and you take the card away. Whenever it's fine for you. Yeah. It's all RTD. And then you've got, for instance, you want to change the color. Let's say, or you want to change the offset from the ground. Maybe you want it to fly. Who knows?
Yeah, let's fly.
So I put on this card the offset, set increase, and it starts moving away from the ground. And it has a line so that you know where the ground actually would be. Yeah? So it's a flying shelter.
Does the reader know that this one is here? Or
No,
the
it reads here in this area. Yeah. And then you can, for instance, also try this with the color. We have a card with a couple of colors, and it just continues to change the color, and you take it away when you're happy with it. So you just decide what you'd like. Let's say it's yellow.
Maybe I can say something to the question of why not simulation, and why we don't work with simulation elements, and has the main reason really is that this is a collaborative tool, and we have built it within a couple of years, and we started with the first workshop in a real urban project in month 6 of the project, so there was hardly anything, yes. And we have made lots of video observation and analyzed them, how people work with this tool. And it's really interesting because it's collaborative, sort of there's an advantage not to have any rules. So people can just take content, they can also create their own content, maybe Mira can show this later.
Yeah, I will.
And they can just say, this is my idea, and I place it here, and everyone, and there's a debate about it, and then it gets removed or smaller or to another place, etc., etc. And what is also interesting, that it is also a new kind of language for specialists, for experts. In a way, in some way, they are at the same footing with the non-experts. So they also have the tools, and they join in the discussion, yes, and they have to argue, and people say, no, this is ugly, and I rather have it red or blue, or this is trivial examples, yes. And so I think that is really the strength of the tool, and of course there's lots of limitations, yes, but the idea is just another one, because there are so many simulation tools, you can do so many things. That was not our mission, and probably also not our competence, exactly what we...
But like, isn't that I mean, it's has no rules in general,
Yeah.
but the things that you put down, they seem to have rules. Like, when you put those two together, it seems to say, okay, the rule is, if I put two things together, make the people walk. So, is it kind of like even though the global ecosystem is unruly, are there kind of like smaller ecosystems with rules? So, I mean...
Well, we have I wouldn't call this rules. We have, this is to do with interaction design. I wouldn't not even look at this as an ecosystem from this point of view. And of course we have to provide people with tools to be able to construct certain types of things. And actually all this was developed with urban planners and architects, and so there was an obvious thing. People want to think about connections. So when you go to the larger map and think, how do you want to connect the old part of the campus with the new part and further on, and then you want to mark these new connections, and that can be roads and paths, and you can bend them and so forth, and then the idea was also to animate them. And
But like those
but I
people.
wouldn't say. But you know how